Well, they say it never rains in Southern California, but it does, of course. And that's what I found this morning. It's a little bit of rain, a little bit of overcast, and some chilly weather. But that's okay, because today was Errands Day, and I didn't have anything planned but to get my errands done. So I drove up north of San Diego to the Miramar neighborhood to go to one place in particular, which is a restaurant supply store, aptly named Chef's Toys, because there are a whole lot of toys in here. If I'm not careful, I can end up spending a whole lot of money in a store like this. Didn't buy much. I bought two things. I bought a fish spatula because I needed a new metal turner. Since I now have a metal pan and not a non-stick pan, I can use metal utensils. And then I bought some tongs, some decent tongs, so I can get rid of the world's worst tongs that I've been using for the last several months. These two things weren't terribly cheap, but they were only $8. For some reason their computer system was down, and it took him a little while to ring me up, so he gave me a little discount for waiting, and I told him I really don't have anywhere to be, so thanks for the discount, but you know, you're not holding me up from getting back to work. Anyway, but I'm happy for the discount. I shouldn't be buying anything, but buying a few things that I need and are useful, I think are fine, especially $8, I think, especially for a decent little turner, which I will use a lot, I think, is okay. They had a few things in there that I wanted to look at. They had some portable stoves, and I've been kind of contemplating swapping out my stove, but that's a bad idea. Just be spending more money on something that my stove still works. It's been irritating me lately, so I'm trying to keep my options open. But anyway, yeah, good place. I recommend it. Prices are decent in there, and there's certainly nice people that work in there. So next on the list was getting some groceries, and there was an Aldi store just a couple miles away, so I took advantage of being close by and drove over. Hadn't been to an Aldi store in a while because they're not usually in my area. Well, I just realized I forgot to eat breakfast, so I don't want to go in there into a grocery store before I have something to eat. That seems like a bad idea. So, put my new pan to use here and make what should be breakfast but is now lunch. Well, I've got just a minimal amount of sticking in here. Most of these potatoes are not sticking, but there's a little bit. And since I've got a little bit of stuck potato on the bottom of my pan here, I think this egg that I'm about to put in here may stick a little bit. Let's see, let's put a little more. Got a little butter here. That might help. Just a touch more oil, I think. I think part of my problem here is I'm not parked level, since I'm just here in a parking lot. So that's making the oil run to the side of the pan and making things difficult. But I'm guessing I'm going to have a little bit of stuck egg here. Hopefully not. Okay, this is where lack of space is kind of a problem. Plenty of heat in that pan to finish that egg. In fact, I've probably overcooked it a little bit by the time I'm ready to get it out of here. I should be doing this like cooking shows, right? And doing it this way so you can see what I'm doing. Face the camera. All right. So this is my third time, I guess, cooking in this, and it's pretty good. I'll have to scrape it up a little bit, get the little bit of stuck potato. That's kind of amazing. I don't have really any stuck egg, really. There's some egg that's stuck to the potato, but that's about it. I'm pretty happy with how this is going, because I mean, I know I've got more seasoning to do on this pan. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Now, what I'm not happy about is, leave this here, I am out of Yellowbird hot sauce, so I went into Trader Joe's and just bought some taco sauce. Let's see how this goes. This is not Yellowbird, but hopefully it will be fine until I get some Yellowbird. Yeah, run-of-the-mill hot sauce is definitely not Yellowbird. But it's all right. Absolutely all right. So my first cooking adventure here with this new carbon steel pan I have, I think went pretty well. A little better than I had expected. I was expecting the potato to really get stuck on there. But it actually did pretty well. I'm surprised. So now I'm just heating some water up on it, and then I'll wipe it out and then re-season it. I think one thing that I would like is I'd like to have a squirt bottle for the oil that I'm using for cooking, because I seem to dump a little bit too much with this full bottle. That was one of the things I wanted to buy at the restaurant supply store, but wouldn't you know it, they were sold out of single bottles. They only had multi-packs, and I don't need 6 or a dozen squeeze bottles, so I'll need to find one someplace else. I guess I'll add that to the list today. Well, I didn't buy too much. I needed rice. I found that basmati, and really didn't like the look of most of their vegetables, but green beans looked okay, those peppers looked okay, and I never buy white mushrooms. Well, I can't say never, because there they are, but they were $1.50, so I bought those. And then this actually saved me some time. I was going to have to run across town to another place to get this, because this was on my list. I like this cheese. It's cheap. I know it's a lot of cheese, but I cut it down and then put it in bags, and lasts me a long time, so I don't have to buy cheese. But I don't know, this is like a month's worth of cheese, so that's good. Did I say a month's worth of cheese? I think this is more than a month's worth of cheese. At least I hope it is. Yeah, I don't think I can go through this in a month. I should keep track of that, though. I've been getting a lot of questions about whether I have a fridge, and yes, I have a fridge. This is a 42 quart, I think. I'm not sure it's 42 quart, but I haven't talked about this fridge yet. I've been waiting to do a long-term review on it, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of big and it needs to be organized. I just kind of threw everything in here for now, but this is kind of a necessity, I think. It's just, it makes cooking for yourself so much easier that I don't want to be without a fridge. This is 12-volt fridge, by the way. Runs off of my solar. You know, I went into Aldi's here to buy coffee mostly, because people keep telling me that the coffee is really good, but it was a little odd because I get in there and that store only had pre-ground coffee. That's all they had, which is really strange. They had what looked like some decent stuff, but it was all pre-ground, and I'm not going to buy any pre-ground coffee for a little bit here, so I'm going to kind of balance out the kind of crappy coffee I've been buying for a little bit better coffee for at least a few more weeks. And yeah, I was just a little surprised That's all they had. Maybe they only stock stores based on what people normally buy, and maybe people around here just don't buy whole bean coffee. Maybe that's it. Okay, I'm happy again. I've got more coffee, fresh coffee. I don't mean to say anything bad about Aldi here. I see why people like it. It's just not my favorite store. There's a few things I was kind of looking for. I kind of wanted some hamburger meat, more to season up my new pan. But so I don't really need it. But I didn't really like the look of it in there. And the vegetables could have looked a little bit better. But that's probably a store-by-store thing, and it's probably also a week-by-week thing, I would guess. So I like Aldi. It's just I don't come out here very often because it's not in my general area. But I got pretty much everything I needed. I got some vegetables. I got stocked up on rice, cheese. Both of those things will last me quite a while. And I should probably go to Target because I do need some paper towel before I run out of that. And there's one just down the road. So yeah, and then I can take it easy. Now there was a grocery outlet over here. Well, that worked out all right. I went ahead and went in grocery outlet since it was right here. They had salmon that I've bought from them before that I really like. This is kind of my preferred protein is salmon. I'd prefer it not to be canned, but it's kind of easy just to keep in the van. And then they had organic grass-fed ground beef, so I went ahead and bought a pack of that. So cheap, $9 I guess for these three things. All premium protein, so not super cheap, but pretty good. Okay, so got that put away. Unfortunately, I still got to go in Target because I still need some paper towel. But I can also use the restroom because that's always the thing I look for when I'm out and about. I might as well use somebody else's toilet instead of my own. Well, that worked out well. I used to buy these expensive paper towels long ago, but I haven't seen them for sale in forever. And even though these are twice as expensive as the other paper towels like these that I've been using, these little thin things, I use twice as many of these as I do of these. This little roll lasts me at least double the amount of time of these kind of more crappy paper towels. But I usually buy these because I can buy these in a single or two pack versus these I haven't been able to find at all unless they're in like a 6-pack or something. I don't have room for that. And they had single and double packs there at this Target. So I was happy to see that. I almost bought a double pack, but being that I've got a little bit left to go on that roll, I figured I'd better not push my luck. It's getting tight in here. You know, things are, if I buy anything more, I'm gonna have to sleep outside. It's a little early for me for dinner, but probably because I forgot to eat breakfast. I needed to eat something, so I ran over to Sprouts, which is just right across the street from where I was. Bought a tiny little loaf of sourdough. It's the best thing you'd find in there. I also bought some of my favorite kettle chips to snack on. I shouldn't be eating these, but like I said, I'm hungry. And I broke my rule. I went in shopping in a grocery store without eating first and being hungry, so there, I bought junk. I think I'm gonna have a burger. Will satisfy my hunger and also help work on seasoning my pan. So I've cooked this pretty much well done, and get rid of that. And I've got some, no, this isn't the healthiest of meals here, but it's actually fairly fast. And I've got some red cabbage. So I guess that makes this health food, right? Since I got red cabbage on there. So that's good enough for me. I was thinking, just as the patty was getting done, hamburger patty was getting done, I was thinking that I should probably fry an egg and throw that on top. But my skills with this pan just are not what they should be. Let's see, I think the only thing about this pan is I might end up using more paper towel, and if that's the case, that's not going to be good. So that might be the only thing that gets me to give up on this pan, since I've got the heat still on. I just had some water at the ready. I'm going to bring this back up to a boil, and while that's boiling away, I think I'm going to sit outside and eat my burger. Well, this is not the most beautiful place I've ever eaten dinner. Here in a mall parking lot next to a construction zone. But when your van is your home, you got to be comfortable wherever you are. And this burger is pretty good. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me today. It turned a kind of a boring day of running errands into something a little bit more exciting for me to bring you along. So thank you for sticking around, and as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.